Hi, it's Cheryl. Welcome to Home Ridge Studio. Well, bee season is upon us, and I have 4 ideas to share with you that are all related to bees. This is part of a collaboration, which I'll tell you about shortly. And if you like to craft up some home decor incorporating bees, watch this video for some cute ideas. Okay, number 1. This is a bee wreath. And if you make it, here's what you'll need. And obviously this is totally customizable. I have this wreath form from the Dollar Tree. And I have an old pair of denim jeans that I've been using for various projects. And I have that tie-dye material from the Dollar Tree. I pulled out a bunch of ribbon that is black and yellow and has flowers and bees on it. And I also have some burlappy type ribbon. I have some beads. These are from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use 2 of the black ones. I have some jute twine and I have a bunch of flowers. So now I'm going to take my material and I'm going to unfold it, and I'm going to trace around the wing of the bee, because we're going to glue the material onto the bee. So I thought the best way to do this would just to start out with a square. So I just kind of cut a little bit on the top and kind of on the bottom, and made a square to make sure that it would match. And then I did that twice because obviously there's 2 wings. And I'm going to cut a circle out from the denim, and I did the same thing. I just kind of cut a little slit here on the top and on the side so I know where to cut out my square. This is the best way. I know how to do this right now. Yeah, I'm struggling with these scissors. See, I've been cutting things with these scissors that I shouldn't be cutting, so they're kind of dull. Okay, so now after I have that cut out, that square, now I'm just going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to trace it on the back of the denim, just a circle on the outer edge. Cut it out larger, just a hair bit larger than what the circle is, and this is on the back so you're not going to see it. And then now I'm just going to take and trace out the body, same thing, and then I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm going to trace the wings. Sharpie is probably not the best thing for this because it bleeds through, but this is what I had on hand, and I just cut it extra large so I could cut all the black Sharpie off of it. This is pretty wrinkly, so I just took my heat press and pressed it out. And now I'm going to start with the body, and I put the piece of denim upside down, so this is the inside of the denim, or the back of it, and I'm just going to press this wreath form down really tight because it kind of buckles up a little bit. I mean, they're not flat, to the surface, so I'm going to press it down. I'm going to put hot glue on it, and then I just put that bead jar on it because it's glass, and if the glue gets on the glass, it's not going to stick. You can peel it right off. So I did that with the whole entire body, holding that frame down really well, or putting something on top of it that is not going to stick to the hot glue. And that's what it looks like after I put the bee head on and the bee body. And now I'm just going to do the same thing with the wings, and I did make the wings just ever so slightly larger. You can trim them off. You really don't need to. We're going to outline them with some jute. So the same thing, I just kind of went on the inside and I just pushed that down really hard, so it pressed it into the frame, into the material until it dried. And I did that on both sides, and it took a little bit of time, but not too much time. And now I'm just going to take this jute, and you can use the jute from the Dollar Tree. If you have this stuff from Walmart, it is a little thicker. I do like it a little bit better, and it's not as like hairy as the one from the Dollar Tree. And it's just nicer, I think, for, you know, outlining things. So I outlined this entire bee, both of the wings and also the body and also the head. And I put that right on the edge, as you can see. So if there's any wire peeking through, any of that frame peeking through, you won't see it because this will hide it all. And then, like I said, I just went around the entire body and the head. And now I have a lighter, and I'm just going to get all the little fuzzes off there. And now I'm going to wrap the little antennas, and the easiest way for me is just to tie it on the back. And I left a little longer piece there because it's going to be the hanger. So I tied it just one knot, or actually 2 knots, and then I put a little dollop of hot glue there, and then I wrapped it all the way up to the top of the antenna, just leaving a little bit of that wire peeking through because we're going to put a bead up there. And then I did that to both sides and left a long piece on the other side too when I was done. And now I'm just tying them together, and then this is going to be a hanger. And I just glued the knot down there so you couldn't see it. Now I have the 2 beads here, and I'm just going to hot glue them on the end. You may have to pull that a little bit to get it on there. And that's what it looks like so far. And now I have a bunch of ribbon. Like I said earlier, I just pulled out everything that I had that kind of matched it. And I cut 2 strips of each one. And they're about, I want to say 8 inches long, and I dovetailed the ends. And now I'm just going to make a messy bow just by crisscrossing all of them. And then I started out with some jute twine to tie it, and yeah, I'm not strong enough to pull that tight, and it just doesn't really stay tight. It slips, so I ended up having to get a zip tie and zip tying it. And that's the easiest thing to do, I think. And then you can really work these and pull them out and fluff them up. And then I put a generous amount of hot glue and just glued it right smack in the middle there, kind of like it's a little bow tie. And then I have these flowers, and I wasn't sure, I was going to use a little one, but I didn't like the little one. I thought that big daisy was perfect, and I just glued it right in the middle, and this is what it looks like. I think he turned out so cute. I got a little bit of hot glue up there at the top there. I didn't see that. I'm going to have to take care of that, but yeah, I'm just, I really like him, and totally customizable. You can make this any color. You don't even have to use denim, and you could use a, Dollar Tree has tons of different kinds of material. Okay, so this collaboration is called Unwreathable, and we are to make at least 3 items incorporating bees, and one of the items has to be a wreath. And I would like to thank our talented host and my sweet friend Christine from DeVyne DeZynz, and the co-host Tammy with Happiness Created. And I put their channel links in my description box below, so you can go check out their channels and give them some love. And also in the description box is a playlist with all of today's participants, so you can be, pun intended, inspired with all of these talented people. Okay, This is just a really quick and easy, almost like a hack. I know you've seen this a million times, but this is a great thing to make if you want. If you make a piece like a bee piece and you want something else to go along with it, this is just a candle from the Dollar Tree. I love the color. It's the perfect yellow color. And I just took some, I have this ribbon, I don't know where I got it from. I always get mine on sale, usually at the end of the season, sometimes at the beginning of the season. If it's at Hobby Lobby and it's 40 or 50% off, I just pick up some ribbon that I absolutely love. And this is one of them, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, one of those places. And I'm just going to take it and wrap it around the candle here. And then I just pulled that tight and then rolled the candle onto it and then clipped off the end. Now I have another ribbon that we have a local dollar store here called Debbie's Dollar, and everything there is unfortunately $1.50, but they had some cool stuff there. I was there the other day with my good friend Lacey, and we grabbed some gems. There was some really good stuff there. So this is where I got this ribbon. It is like, I don't even know what you call this ribbon, but it is a small wired ribbon. It was so beautiful, and I thought, oh, this would be perfect with the bees. So I have this little plastic bee here. You get those from the Dollar Tree in a pack of I don't know how many. Just glued them on. Super simple, super easy. Took less than 5 minutes to make, and it will look so cute next to your bee pieces. Okay, number 3. And this is just a floral. And I have a bunch of picks. Some are from the Dollar Tree, some are from Hobby Lobby and Michael's. And I have this beautiful tin. This is from the Dollar Tree. It's like a cream color and has these beautiful bees on it. I picked that one up. I don't remember when I got it. I think it was this year. I loved it. I love the color of it. And I have the foam from the Dollar Tree, and I have just a bunch of ribbon that I thought matched that tin perfectly. I have these bees. I couldn't help myself. I picked them up from Michael's just the other day, actually. And I have some floral wire. And I thought those bees were so cute, and I showed them to my husband, and he's like, ooh, those are kind of look real. I'm like, I know, that's why I got them. They were on sale, but, you know, they weren't super cheap, but they didn't break the bank, you know. But anyway, I have this pick here. I don't remember where I got it from. Probably Hobby Lobby or something like that. And I just cut them down long first. And then I realized that no, they need to be shorter because I want the top of this, this is the largest floral that I'm using. I want that to hit the top of the tin bucket so I can like bend it over. So I just take my wire clippers here and I pull up the leaves. I push them up to the top. And I'm just going to take them and I'm just going to bend them over and wrap them all around the bottom, or yeah, the perimeter of the bucket, I should say. And I had a couple extra and I put them in the middle, kind of just for some filler. And then I have these pretty flowers too. I believe these were from Michael's. And what I like about these is they're small, but they also look like they're filler too at the same time. And I wanted these to be taller than the large florals. So I just clipped off a bunch of these and I'm just filling them in the middle, in between all those flowers. And yeah, I'm just going around and around. And by the way, speaking of bees, have you ever been stung by a bee? I have, like 3 times in my life. And I do remember the first time I was like 10 and I was wearing flip-flops and I walked across the grass and a bee got stuck below my foot and stung me and it hurt really, really bad. I was, like I said, I was 10. So yeah, I cried and it hurt and it was very swollen and I will never forget that. Anyway, that's my bee story. The other ones were painful, but not as traumatic as that one. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is I save my picks after I'm done using and pulling off all the leaves and the flowers. I save them because see this piece here, this grassy piece is from the Dollar Tree and it does not have a wire in the bottom of it, so I can't put them in my floral arrangement here. So I am just putting them on this pick here. And these luckily have like a little hole at the bottom of the leaf so I can put them on the little stems that are sticking up. But I'm also gluing them on there too. So I wanted this to have kind of some sprouts coming out. And so that is what I'm doing right here. So save those pieces. And anyway, a big thank you to all of my sweet subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you haven't yet subscribed and you like budget-friendly decor, thrift flips, seasonal decor, and so much more, tap that subscribe button and the bell notification and you won't miss a thing. It's totally free and it helps me out tremendously, and I thank you. Okay, the same thing here with the bee. I just kept that little stem there and I wrapped the little wire. The bee had the wire on it already, or I would have used the wire from the Dollar Tree. And I just wrapped the little stem around the bee and poked it right in there, and voila, it was perfect. And this was so easy. And I just put, I guess I forgot to put the footage in there, but I put a little, that ticking stripe from the Dollar Tree. It was just a bow that I tied around the bottom, and I just hot glued it in the front and the back a little bit. And yeah, I think this is just so like spring, summery, you know, get you in the mood for the season. Not for the bees though. Around here they're pretty pesty, but anyway, I'm still looking for it. I'll take the bees with the warm weather and the sun anytime. Okay, here's my last piece and we're gonna do some stenciling here. So I have this little chalkboard thingy from the Dollar Tree. And I just pulled together again all of my like yellow ribbon, all the ribbon that I thought kind of looked like it was bee related. I did not use those sunflowers though. And I have this Waverly chalk paint in the color Maize, and I have this stencil, and I believe I got this from Temu with a ton of stencils. A few years ago, they have a bunch of them on Amazon too. And there's those bees. I did not use that bee though. I wasn't sure what bee I was going to use. I did end up using that bee. So I just placed my stencil here on this piece. I centered it, and then I'm just pushing it down really tight and taping it really tight. And now I just grab my Maize and I put it, got some chalk paint, or excuse me, yeah, chalk paint on that this little dabber thing, and I pounced a bunch of it off, and I'm very carefully pouncing it all over this whole stencil. I don't use another color at this point. I just go around the whole entire thing, holding that stencil down really tight onto the board and not putting a whole lot of chalk paint on it. And this takes time, and it takes time because you don't want it to bleed, so you don't put a whole lot of, you know, paint on that first. Okay, so next I have this paint, this acrylic paint, and this is in the color, it is, let's see, it's a deco art. It's in the color Lush Foliage. Lush Foliage. That's a cute name. Anyway, I'm just dabbing a little bit just on the little leaves here. Just a little teeny bit. You can't really even see it on camera. It's just very, very faint. But I just wanted to give it a little bit of definition. And the revealing. Did it bleed? Did it not? Did it bleed? Did it not? And like, wow. It didn't, yay. I always worry about that. Anyways, so now I'm super happy because it turned out perfectly. And now I have these. I was going to like take my stampers. I have little teeny stampers and stamp Bee-utiful on this, but I had these little Scrabble pieces that I got at a garage sale, or no, a thrift store, I think, a long time ago. I had a huge bag full of them, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to use these. So I put in Bee-utiful, and then I put them on top there, and then I glued one of the little plastic bees on the end. And now I'm just taking this yellow ribbon that has a white polka dot, and I'm just going to glue a strip on the top, and I'm going to glue a strip on the bottom just to give it a little bit of, I don't know, more decoration, make it look a little bit more fancy. And now I'm just going to make a shoelace bow, just a little teeny tiny one to glue it up in the left hand corner there. I thought it just still looked a little plain. I don't know, I wanted to put something in the middle, but I thought it was good enough as it was. I don't know, let me know, what do you think? Should I put something in the middle? That's where I was gonna put a sunflower in the middle, but then when I looked at it, I didn't show you guys on camera, but when I looked at it, I thought, no, that's too much. Then I was thinking I could put the bow in the middle, but then I thought, no, I like the stencil. Let it speak for itself. So let me know what you think. What would you do with this? Anyway, this was quick and easy and super inexpensive to make. And tip from me to you, if you have the little glue webs, grab a piece of tape, and a piece like this, you can just put the tape down there and it picks the glue webs right off of it. And this is the end result. And you're going to have to let me know. I always ask you, which piece is your favorite piece? I really do like to know that. And here is the whole shebang. And that's all I have for you today. Remember to check out those beautiful hosts and the playlist. And as I always say, you know I'll be back real soon. And until then, you have a blessed week. Bye.